Welcome back. Today we're talking World of Warcraft Shadowlands.
We're starting our multi-video series going over all Covenant abilities for every class and what we think is epic or if it's burning to the ground like every major city. And we're back. I'm Saf.
And I'm Tang. And this is Gaming Dads.
So, it's my turn to ask you a sweet question. My question to you is, we're going to talk about one of my favorite foods today. What is your perfect burger, my man?
Ooh, perfect burger. I mean, as you can see, I've had quite a few burgers. So I would say we'll start off with a nice artisanal bun. Maybe put a little bit of butter on the bun, kind of warm it a little. Give me two quarter-pounder patties. Nice American cheese. Ooh, give me some chili, like meat chili, nacho chili. Pack
Like
that
beef,
on there.
beef chili?
Yeah, that beef chili, man. Give me some barbecue sauce, some ketchup, some mustard, some mayo. Stack on some bacon. Make love to that thing, son.
That's a lot of meat.
Oof, yes. I will eat that meat. Tasty.
Now that we have, our mouths are watering, let's give a big thanks to all the comments that we got on our last video. We appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with us through this hiatus. We're going to be back and we're going to put out more videos than ever before. So we're going to do our first requested series here, and it was requested by, let's see here, KOU Venom. So big thanks to him. He wanted to hear about all the Covenant class and abilities and what we thought about it. So I tell you what, man, here we are to answer your prayers. We're going to start out with all the Kyrain Covenant, and we're going to start with that Fat Death Knight. All right? Shackle the Unworthy. You're going to admonish your target and for their past transgressions, reducing the damage they deal to you by 5% and dealing 175% attack power as arcane damage over the next 14 seconds. While Shackle the Unworthy is active on the enemy, rune spending attacks reduces cooldown by 4 seconds. It costs 1 rune. It's an instant cast. It's got a 1 minute cooldown. What do you think about that, man?
So the notes we've gotten from the alpha test we've seen, it's looking great for blood. Less useful for the other specs. For now, it's definitely a very AoE component. 1 minute cooldown, only 1 rune. It's like a 14-second dot. I mean, it's looking like a fair chunk of damage.
So a good single target damage doer.
Yeah, good single target.
It looks like on the meters.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to Sims, especially hopefully we'll get a beta key at some point.
All right, so we're not saying it's terrible. We're not saying it's excellent. There's maybe some other ones that might
middle of the road.
Yeah. So next up, we got the Demon Hunter with Elysian's Decree, man. What do you think about that? Let us know.
So Elysian's Decree, you place a Kyrian sigil at the target location that activates after 2 seconds. It detonates to deal 120% of attack power, arcane damage, and shatter up to 3 lesser soul fragments from enemies affected by the sigil. It's got a 30-yard range, an instant cast, and a minute cooldown. What do you got for the notes on this
one? No matter how many targets there is, it always gives you the 3 soul shards. It's another, looks like a better tanking thing. I mean, it could be used for AoE for single target, or for Havoc. But I mean, how many more AoE things do you need as Havoc? You got I-Beam, you got Blade Dance, and everything else. So, but it does work with the Quicken Sigils for the Vengeance, which is kind of nice. So it reduces the time it takes to actually trigger, and it reduces cooldown. So I think that'd be pretty nice, especially.
I think it'll just be another AoE tool the Demon Hunter has.
Yeah,
be huge in Mythic Pluses probably. So
absolutely.
And next up, we got the Druid, Kindred Spirits. You want to take that away?
Yes. All right. Bear with me, people. We're going over a bunch of different things here. So Kindred Spirits form a bond with an ally. Every 1 minute, you may empower the bond for 10 seconds, granting you an effect on your partner's role and granting them an effect based on your role. So if you're Guardian, your Kindred Protection. Protect your bonded partner, redirecting 40% of the damage you take unless you fall below 20% health. So you guess you could use that on another tank or one of those healers as stand-in shit, KJ. And then we have Restoration, gives Kindred Focus. Focus your bonded partner, replicating 50% of all healing you deal onto them. So you're healing the whole raid and you can redirect 50% of all that healing onto somebody else. That's pretty nice. And Balance and Feral get Kindred Empowerment. Energizes your bonded partner, granting them 1 primary stat for every 50 damage you deal. 2% base mana, 2.5 second cast, 40-yard range, 1 hour duration. So, is it like Symbiosis? You play Druid. What is this all about?
So, some of the notes I'm hearing, it is definitely being compared to the Symbiosis of old. They're saying it's a little lackluster, a little weak. They're also saying it's kind of like most major cities right now. They're burning and broken. So definitely not going good so far in the alpha.
I'm going to give you my favorite class to talk about. Let's talk about this Hunter. Your least favorite and my favorite.
Hunter, the one class that I deleted a max level tune because I just hate the freaking class. All right. Resonating Arrow. Fire a resonating arrow to the target location and fills the area with echoing anima for 10 seconds. The effect causes your attacks to ignore line of sight to enemies in the area, and you have 30% increased critical strike chance against them. It's got a 40-yard range, an instant cast, and a 1-minute cooldown. As the person who's been maining a Hunter recently, what you got on these?
30% critical strike is always nice. I mean, it's hard to argue that. So, they say it's pretty powerful in PvP. It has some uses in PvE, like say Ashara, you got a high from her blast. Well, if you put down Resonating Arrow, you get to keep shooting on her, and even though you're behind a wall, so it basically helps avoid and mitigate those line of sight mechanics. It's good for both AoE and single target. I think it looks better with marksmanship, more so than Beast Mastery and Survival. I mean, Survival looks like a train wreck anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Area effect looks the same as like a Blizzard from a Mage or a Warlock Rain of Fire. It's okay. It looks, the visuals okay on the ground, but...
For someone like me who has almost no real understanding of Hunter, because like I said, I just don't like the class. Is this like an AI? Is this more...
It doesn't do damage. It just increases the damage you do, and then you can continue to cast on them regardless of where they're at. And
so you get like a small buff in an area, basically, right?
Correct. That's it.
That's fucking lame. Just one.
So if your tank pulls them out, it's worthless. But anyway, leading on to...
Lord knows Dorlor can't ever stand still, so...
Hey, Dorlor's an amazing tank. You leave him alone. Anyway, since we were talking about some Blizzards, let's talk about some mages. What do we got for mages? What do they got?
All right, mages have got Radiant Spark. Conjure a Radiant Spark. They call it 75% of spell power arcane damage instantly, and an additional 29.6% of spell power damage over 8 seconds. The target takes 10% increased damage from your direct spell, stacking each time they are struck. This effect ends after 4 spells. It's 2% of base mana, 1.5 second cast time, 40-yard range, and a 30-second cooldown. I'm really liking the looks of this. It does sound like a pretty cool, especially arcane. Like, squeeze in 4 arcane blend. But what do you got in notes for this one?
I heard it's a little wonky just because of the... if you're any mage I've ever played, you've played mage since vanilla, you played with your BC and all that stuff. I
played for like the first half of WoW, but I haven't played a lot lately.
Right. So I have an alt mage and I play Frost. So they were saying that it's not bad, but it's not great because sometimes you get the 4 charges, right? And if you use Flurry, that takes up 3 of those charges. And then if you use your Glacial Spike, sometimes your Ice Lance that you shoot out after your Glacial Spike will hit before, and that'll take all the extra damage that you've been building up. So it just might change it. It doesn't look horrible. I'm not angry with it. But
Not too
I don't know.
shabby, man.
I wouldn't say it's burning down, but I wouldn't say it's epic either. I mean, it looks pretty
It's
cool.
another protest on the verge, yet to be determined.
Right.
Next up, buddy. Yep, we got the monk. You want to give us some info on their ability?
Absolutely. They got the Weapons of Order. For the next 30 seconds, your mastery is increased by 15%. Additionally, Windwalker's Rising Sun Kick cooldown is reset instantly, and your Rising Sun Kick reduces the cost of your chi abilities by 1 for 5 seconds, which isn't working right now, by the way. Brewmaster's Cake Smash cooldown is reset, and the enemies hit by the Cake Smash take 5% increased damage from you, stacking up to 5 times. Sounds pretty nice for tanking. Mistweaver's Essence of Font cooldown is instantly reset instantly and heals nearby allies for 240% of spell power on channel start and end. Sounds powerful. 10% base mana, instant cast, 2-minute cooldown. I mean, 2-minute cooldown's not too bad. It's a little cool. It's just like an extra raid cooldown or maybe a tank cooldown, tank healing cooldown. What do you think?
So some of the notes I've got on this is it's not matching up great with Windwalker due to the combo breaker. You do not want it to be off cooldown with the weaving attacks right. I'm hearing it feels great on Mistweavers because of the longer cooldowns.
I mean, I think it's sweet. I think the Mistweavers look cool. I think they need some buffs. I mean, anybody who's sitting there and they're healing you, and they're like, the whole time? That's sweet. All right, next up, my favorite, Paladin, Divine Toll. Let me know what it is, my man.
All right. Instantly cast Holy Shock, Avenger Shield, or Judgment on up to 5 targets within 30 yards based on your current specialization. 30% of base mana, 30-yard range, and an instant 1-minute cooldown. What you got for notes on this, buddy?
Yo, I've seen this in videos from alpha testers, and let me just say, for prot, this thing looks sick, and it's actually pretty powerful. So imagine, I mean, whole Avenger Shield looks cool, right? But now you're shooting 5 of those suckers, man. How awesome is that? 5 Avenging Shields blasting out, crushing people, bouncing around. Like, you can't get better threat than that. Red, it's kind of lackluster because it's just like you're throwing a couple of judgments. But, I mean, that's still pretty good damage. And then you have Holy Shock for Holy. I mean, that's good because it works with Glimmer. I'm not sure if Glimmer will be a thing. I need to do more research on that. I know right now it's an Azerite tree. I'm pretty sure I read that they're having it just put into their talents. So,
yeah, I wouldn't
but it
be
does
surprised.
work with it as testing that it is working. So apparently it's working just fine. So apparently they did. So I mean that's an amazing CD. You blast 5 targets and all the people that you have Glimmer on are getting healed. I don't see how that's bad.
My question is, and you know, I'm gonna look it up, but I wonder if all shields they hit multiple targets too.
I mean, I would hope so. I mean, that's how it works. Probably.
Man,
and that's it. Or maybe your initial one will do it. I don't know.
Dude, imagine it was like 5, 5, 5.
Right? Or it's like 5, and they're like bouncing between her. Dude, that'd be
Next
sad.
thing you know, you're taking like 10 prop paladins to AoE raid fights and stuff.
Right? You'd be like, they call you the ping pong paladin.
Next up, we got. Next up,
right? Jackpot.
Next up, we got the Priest and Boon of the Ascended. Why don't you take us away?
Yeah, Boon of the Ascended. Boo. I'm just playing. I don't like Priest. So, like, he don't like Hunter. I don't like Priest. All right, so you draw upon the power of the Ascended for 10 seconds, granting access to Ascended Nova. It replaces Mind Flay and Smite, according to your spec, with Ascended Blast. And increases your movement speed by 50%. Upon expiration, release an Ascendant Eruption. Explode for 150 spell power, arcane damage to all enemies, and 200 spell power, healing to all allies within 15 yards. Increased by 3% for each stack of Boon of the Ascended. 1.5 second cast, 3-minute cooldown. What is this, like an overpowered Holy Nova? Or what?
So for some of the notes, it's like the biggest issue with testers is the cooldown is just way too long. It's a 3-minute cooldown for a 10-second buff. And it's not, it doesn't seem to be that powerful.
No.
They're saying it's looking good for Torghast, which, I mean, I guess there's some good Torghast buffs or something. I mean, the idea of it to me sounds good. They definitely need to lower the cooldown. But I mean, imagine Mythic Plus in PvP, like you heal your raid as you help do damage. I mean, yeah, buffed up Holy Dog.
I don't know. Priest is Minnesota, in my opinion. That makes it burn. But I don't know what time will tell. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I didn't think the visual was all that fantastic. It's just like a blue circle that blasts out. Almost looks like, a mage casting arcane. What is it? Arcane explosion.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But dude, if Arcane Explosion healed, your ass would love some Arcane Explosion.
Nah, I wouldn't like it. It's Priest. Rogue Echoing Reprimand. Tell me all about it, my man.
Oh man. Alright, so for Echoing Reprimand, you deal 60% of attack power, arcane damage to an enemy. Extracting their anima, the enemy charge a combo point. Damaging finish moves that consume the same number of your combo points as your anima charge deals damage, as if they consume 7 combo points. On use, it awards 3 combo points. It's 30 energy, it's only in melee, it's an instant cast, and it's a nice short 45 seconds. You've always loved rogues. What are your notes on this?
So it's just more RNG, kind of like roll the bones. It's kind of like you get lucky or you don't. So this is a little more able to be planned. So you roll, or you hit the ability, you roll, and then you get between 1 and 4. So then you have to match that combo points with your combo points, and then use your finishing ability, and it acts as 7. So say you get a 2, you get 2 combo points, you hit Envenom, and then boom, you got a 7-point Envenom, and then you get 3 combo points on top of it. So, I mean, it's okay. From what I understand, it's a little difficult to, you play a low rogue too. I mean, when you're sitting there and you're critting like crazy, you get extra combo points, you're like, oh crap. You know what I mean?
So my question is this going to replace Roll the Bones, or is it supposed to be an addition to?
No, this is all classes. This is all specs. So it's not something that you have to use energy. Like you use energy, but you don't use combo points on. So you're just going to roll it individually. It's kind of just be an extra button to push.
But they're saying they're saying super RNG though, right? Like hard to play cooldowns.
That's really cool in PvP because it's like, oh, yeah, a clutch moment, you're about to die, but then you get that 2-point, you line it up, and then if you crush somebody with Envenom, and we'll see. It's just to be determined. We'll say that. To be determined.
To be determined.
For right now, this riot is peaceful, or this protest is peaceful, but it's getting a little froggy. All right? I'm going to say I don't know.
It's getting a little crowded. Like they're starting to outnumber the officials. Starting to look, it could go either way. But it's still so far nothing crazy. Next up is Shaman with the Vesper Totem. Why don't you give us a rundown?
Totem. Summon a totem at the target location for 30 seconds. Your next 3 damage abilities will cause the totem to radiate 50% spell power, 50% attack power as arcane damage to up to 6 enemies near the totem. And your next 3 healing abilities to 6 allies near the totem for 100% spell power, 100% attack power as health. So cast this ability again, you relocate a totem, just like every other totem. 10% base mana cost, 40-yard range, instant, 1 minute cooldown. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm not a big fan of Shaman either. I like Shaman, but all they do is put down totems. Now you got one more totem to put down? What do you think?
Some of the notes I got for this is it's not a bad ability. Tester I was watching said it can impact up to 6 spells. So I mean, Great. 6 chain heals, 6 big ass single targets. Like it can be pretty beneficial, especially for Ellie. DPS potential is pretty high. Definitely good for Mythic Pluses. They're saying Shamans finally feel like they're getting a nice buff or pulling some weight with this spell. I'm sure our buddy Ryu will totally disagree as he always does, but leave us a comment, buddy.
Make it fancy.
But yeah, I mean, it looks like a decent cooldown to have for a Shaman, but you're right, it's just another freaking totem. Like,
I don't think this will be used to its max potential by a lot of the Shaman community. I think it'll just be if they're damage. I mean, think about it. just because you have healing spells doesn't mean you use healing spells. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's been proven time and time again during raids. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it has potentials. I think this would be great, like Mythic Plus, Torghast, Visions, but obviously they're not gonna have Visions in, but Torghast. So I think this would be cool.
Well, Torghast basically is what Visions have evolved into. That's what they were saying. So
just cooler.
And next up, we got the Warlock with Scouring Tithe. You want to take that away, sir?
Sure. Scouring Tithe. Deal 100% spell power, arcane damage instantly, and 144 of spell power over the next 18 seconds. If the enemy dies while it's affected by Scouring Tithe, you generate 5 soul shards. That's pretty nice. If they survive, Scouring Tithe cooldown is refreshed. Dang, that's pretty nice. So you just kind of keep throwing it up there until they die, and then when they die, you get 5 soul shards. Like, I don't see how this is a horrible ability, but we'll see. 2% base mana, that's not much. 40-yard range, normal cast. 2 seconds cast, that's decent. 40-second cooldown. I mean, the cooldown's not very long anyway. I mean, instantly refreshes if it doesn't kill him, and then if it does kill him, you get 5 free soul shards. Herd's not so clean on demo. I mean, it doesn't work on what it doesn't. This can't work for everything.
Yeah, so on the notes that I've got, you're right. It's not as clean for demo due to the shard generation, and they're having trouble with Havoc using it, so it can't be used. So sorry, Distro.
Yeah, if you could use this with Havoc, that'd be sick.
But I mean, this definitely seems more, I think we were talking, more of an affliction, just another dot to add every 40 seconds. Basically, you'll sim it, and if it does crazy damage, okay, that's what I'm going. If not, oh well. So,
all right. So let's end this on a high note. What is considered the best ability of the Kyrain, the Warrior? What does he get? How awesome is it?
The Warrior, it's awesome. He gets the Spear of Bastion. It throws a Kyrain Spear at the target location, dealing 200% of your attack power as arcane damage instantly. You also deal an additional 216% of your attack power over 4 seconds. So you're getting an instant 200 magical damage AoE attack for warriors. And then you get a 4-second dot while they sit in it. On top of it, enemies hit are tethered to the Spear of Bastion's location for the duration. And it gives you 25 range to charge up in there and start whirlwinding. It's a 25-yard range, instant cast, 1 minute cooldown. What have you got for notes here, buddy?
I got a massive heart on for this. Dude, this ability is a monster, bro. I mean, the tether ability is nice. It does AoE damage, and it gives you rage on top of it to fucking destroy some more shit. Like, I don't know how that gets any better. Like, all those warriors and arms, maybe this might be, like, huge for arms, for all those guys that, like, want to play arms. Here we are, boys. Got extra rage regen. You got huge damage, huge crazy AoE damage. Like 200% of attack power, and then 216 on top of that, or 4 seconds. Like 4 seconds is not long. That is insane.
I think on top of it, it's got a ton of potential for raid mechanics. Like
raid, PvP.
Like for raid, man, say you need a bunch of AoE, you need to grip them up. You charge that in, they get sucked in. The Demon Hunter grips them. It's another form of mass grip. And does it work in PvP? Will it? Like, will they get stuck in it? I mean, can they flip out or blink? Can they just run out? Or if they can't run out, like, that'd be pretty nice.
Yeah. This is like the boy band.
This looks really cool too.
Crazy boy band ass right here. But well, there you have it. Kyrain class abilities. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for kind of sticking with us. If you really liked what we saw today, hit that subscribe button. Tappity tap. The like. And then smash on that bell so you hear more of our content. We promise to put out some more.
Tappy tap.
Oh man, once we get some taps. Y'all know this. But anyway, thanks a lot. It's been real.
Game and Dad.